directors. To lead us in the open forum, let us welcome our moderator, the Executive Director of the Institute for Labor Studies, Ma'am Ahmma Charisma Lobrin-Satumba.
Is my audio clear?
Yes, ma'am, very clear. Loud and clear.
Thank you very much. For those who have just joined in or tuned in, welcome to Plenary 2 of the 17th OSH Congress, entitled OSH Communication and Education in the Digital World. Okay, and we have just finished with a presentation of our speakers. Executive Director David Bugallon of the National Institute for Technical Education and Skills Development on TESDA Occupational Safety and Health for Learners, Trainers, and Employees. Mr. Herman Eser Jr. of OSHC, he talked about delivering occupational safety and health training through digital platforms. And a good friend of mine, Ms. Dang or Rodora or Dang Snyder of ECOP, she talked about OSH advocacies adapting to the changes of times, okay? With our current situation, people have come to realize the importance of occupational safety and health in the workplace. And it is good to see though, that the OSHC, TESDA, and ECOP saw the need to be relevant and thus shifted to online platforms in delivering their training services. So now we go to the open forum. Sige, baka pwede pong i-pin na natin ang ating mga speakers. And I encourage our participants to post their questions in the Q&A box. No? Sayang naman po, i-maximize na po natin ang presence ng ating mga representatives at mga renowned speakers from TESDA, OSHC, and ECOP. Okay? So is Ms. Dang Snyder here? Anyway, while waiting for her, para maipin yung kanyang cam, ano, I'd like to ask the first question, ED David and Sir Herman, if it's okay with the two of you. Okay. So, as training providers, no, it is really your provision of OSH trainings despite the pandemic is really laudable. You have the OSHC has shifted through digital platforms. And TESDA has adopted flexible learning to continuously conduct events, no? And you said earlier na you have recognized OSH as one of the 21st century skills, di ba? That is really something, no? So do you think that this online approach to the delivery of training programs is bound to stay, even post-pandemic, no? Or even if it's safe to conduct face-to-face trainings already? And if so, how can you fully maximize this shift and to even sustain this towards a wider reach? So yun. So, sino po ba ang maunang sumagot?
Yeah. Okay. Let me.
Sige po.
Yeah. Let me respond first. Of course, this is a very challenging on the part of Tibet, considering that for technical vocational education and training, this includes programs that are not academic only, but involves actually the knowledge component and the skills component. So you cannot teach Tibet by, of course, discussing the knowledge component, or you cannot just teach. Okay, so it really needs the performance of the different learning outcomes in the different competencies of a course, or we call it actually a qualification. Okay. And these are skills intensive and equipment intensive, and this makes it very difficult on the part of Tibet. However, as to the question of should we sustain, or will the online program be sustainable, or the flexible learning, particularly on our part, it's the blended learning that we are advocating. It is the combination of online with the face-to-face as applicable. Okay, must be sustained. The answer is yes. It must be the new normal. As we are always saying to our Tibet trainers, there is no going back, because this actually, it's the pandemic. The pandemic has just accelerated because we has accelerated this kind of learning modes, because we are actually moving towards that direction as we consider the fourth industrial revolution. Diba? Na we cannot escape the digital community, the digital economy. And when we talk of digital economy, the fourth industrial revolution, it involves digital technology plus the artificial intelligence that involves the big data analysis and collection, and that defines what fourth IR is. So it's the pandemic. On the positive note, it accelerated all of us in the not only in the education platform but also in the economy to go on with this kind of to work with digital technology in the delivery of education, or on our part the delivery of Tibet. So that is actually our advocacy to the Tibet community. There's no going back. That's why we have on the part of Tibet, we have formulated the flexible learning. And of course, it's very challenging because it's so easy. It's easier said than done that let's go for it. But there are three basic things. One, the capacity of the institution, the capacity of the learners, and the capability of the facilitators or the trainers. Okay, this must be taken in consideration in order that we will succeed in this kind of new normal system. Thank you.
Thank you, ED David. Truly, I really agree with you that the pandemic has accelerated the use of of online platforms, digitization, automation. How about you, Sir Herman?
Good afternoon po, Director Satumba. Okay. We at the OSHC believe that online training will stay even after the pandemic, especially for the OSHC, which targets the micro, small, and financially challenged enterprises, because of the two main advantages of online training. One is accessibility, and the other is low cost, because compared with classroom training, which involves additional cost on meals and venue, online training is really cost effective, that even the DOL accredited STOs were able to reduce their registration fees. Thank you very much, ma'am.
So that is actually good news. Both TESDA and OSHC said that there's no going back. No? So there's no turning back, sabi nga ni ED. And Sir Herman is right. Yung sinabi mo, mas cost-effective siya. Actually, with the online trainings, but it has become more inclusive. No? Kung dati, limited tayo sa ilan lang tao, but because it's online already, mas maraming participants. No? Pero yung mayroon pa rin kasing burning issue, no? Yung digital divide. Kasi sabi kanina ni ED, isang issue ay yung capacity ng learner. No? Pero yung access naman ay isa ring mahalagang pag-usapan. So, paano kaya natin ma-address yung digital divide? Lalo na doon sa mga micro, small enterprises, no? At saka yung siguro yung mga learners natin na hindi pa talaga maalam, no? At walang access, walang wala doon sa kanilang lugar, no? Walang mga wifi. So, paano po kaya nyo i-address yon ng inyong mga organization? So, siguro, sige po, sir,
Okay, yeah. In the design of our flexible learning, we have actually considered that one. That's why one of the learning mode is for those that do not have yet the capacity, or whose problem actually is the infrastructure within the community in terms of internet connection. An institution, a learning institution, must be ready with a very, very purposive, designed competency-based learning material. And this will now, this is what we call the use of the distance learning mode. Okay, while that is a problem, the other on our part, the other recommendation was to back up blended learning, which is the combination of face-to-face and online learning with offline mode. Meaning to say, for example, they could actually access the learning materials in the school where there is connectivity, and then they could play the learning material via push technology, right, in their own computer, even without internet. And as a matter of fact, we have actually our TESDA online program, which I think you have heard about it, that have catered actually about almost 2 million from the start of the pandemic learners via this platform. We have upgraded this national. Actually, it's already a national platform in context, in the context of Tibet. Or it is a national platform that have actually now embraced our regions and our TPIs, our TESDA technology institutions in the different areas of provinces. This TESDA online program is developed at the central level, and this can now be used as a credit program. When we say it's a credit program, the architecture of the learning management system is is being facilitated by the trainer. So every trainer is given an account, and all the 100+ institutions have been provided rooms in our LMS. So this actually, we have also, the architecture has included that concern wherein what about if they don't have the internet capacity. So it's now backed up with an offline capability through the inclusion of an application. It's an application within the system, so that they can, even if they don't have the internet in their area, when they access this in areas where they have internet, the learning goes on, and it's even this is facilitated, actually, a credit program. Okay, so those are the initiatives that we have done in addressing such concern. But of course, in areas talaga na that we don't have yet, we are promoting still the development of competency-based learning materials. That kasi the difference here is how does a trainer or institution design these materials so that it become interesting, and also it directly respond or addresses the learning objectives or the learning outcomes as we speak in Tibet, with the different activities that will be done by the learner via the distance from the institution. So those are the two important things that we've done.
So that's really bringing training to far-flung communities, no? So maganda yung sinabi niyo, blended learning with offline mode. Okay. So thank you, Sir Herman. Kayo po.
Ma'am, there are also stakeholder initiatives that complement or may complement the OSHC effort to conduct online training and disseminate information through the social media. One example of stakeholders initiatives is the ILO program to restart the economy safely. I think one of the components of that program is that the Department of Information and Communication Technology shall provide internet connections in the areas outside of NCR, which is the target for that ILO project. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Sir Herman. So maganda to, no, that the ILO is helping us reach yung mga the unreached, okay, sectors. So now we go to some questions po. Siguro, Sir Herman, ito po, meron pong question for you, Mr. Edmundo Munchua. For OSH trainings, how do you assess the completeness and competency of safety training organizations and their trainers? how do you assess that participants learned from the training?
Prior to the conduct of the training, the STOs send us their request to conduct training together with the details such as date and the links. Through internet, we have the capability to monitor the conduct of the trainings real time, and also they also send us all the required post-training reports, including the evaluation of the participants. Thank you very much.
So thank you. So Edmundo, Mr. Edmundo Monchua, that is your answer from Sir Herman. ED David, ito naman po para sa inyo, no? From Christopher Merilos. Due to the pandemic, the TESDA accredited schools are still closed. How can we renew the expired NC2 for the skilled personnel?
Yeah, first of all, actually, as far as the accredited trainings and assessment centers are concerned, actually, we are allowed to operate on a 50% capacity. That is, we are allowed by the IATF to operate, actually. Meaning, if usually there are about 10 candidates for assessment that must be assessed in a time, then the 50% capacity is about 5. But depending 5. But on training, it depends actually on the area. Now, what I mean to say here is they are not actually closed. They are still open. And renewal of assessment national certificate is not in the assessment center, but you have applied this in the provincial offices of TESDA, and they are open. They are operating actually on a daily basis, except of course if they are being closed by by circumstance that there are positive employees in there. So they are still open, and they just go there, of course, just to inform what are the requirements for the renewal of a national certificate. One is you have to have a certificate that you have applied the competency or the qualification or the certificate, meaning an employment of in work can do, or any certification by community observation, or for example, because if you are a practitioner, self-practitioner of the skill that you have, then where you have worked at, or anyone that can witness that you are actually practicing the profession or the skill can do as a requirement. So that's actually the basic requirement, plus the certificate that is about to expire or that expired. And then, of course, the passport size ID, white background with collar, and the renewal fee of renewal fee. Thank you.
So thank you very much. So Sir Christopher, no, yun yung sagot ni ED David. Doon tayo pupunta sa provincial office, no, hindi dun sa accredited school, and open naman daw po yun. Okay. Now for Sir Henner, no, from Gemma Domingo, for OH nurses, any OSHC accredited STO can conduct the BOSH for nurses, not necessarily to get the training from OH and AP only. Ano po ba yung
yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige.
Yes, ma'am. Aside from that particular duly accredited STO offering BOSH for nurses, the UP College of Public Health also offers BOSH for nurses. But regarding the other STOs, I think I have to check the updated list of accredited training courses that they offer. Thank you very much po.
Thank you, sir. I'd just like to ask the Secretariat if Ms. Snyder is here in Zoom or wala siya. Dr. Ray? Okay, so siguro while waiting for the answer, may mga questions pa po sa inyo, ED David. From Engineer Romel Deloso. This is concerning national certification levels, no? NC Level 4 stated that leads in improvement of OSH program policies and procedures. Is this equivalent to the Safety Committee or another certification that develop programs, policies, and procedures as subject matter experts? Or a certification specific to developing OSH programs?
No, my presentation a while ago just want to show, because of course the BOSH program is with the center and DOLE, no. But what we would like to emphasize in there is the competencies of BOSH are actually also some of the competencies are integrated along the different certification levels of TESDA. Okay, so that usually in NC1, because in the generic descriptor of an NC1 program is a helper level, and NC2 is a skilled level or semi-skilled level. NC1, NC2 is skilled level. So NC3 is with supervisory level, meaning one that can actually resolve concerns of skilled workers. Okay, so NC4 is more on with what a managerial type of skills. Okay, along a qualification or a job role. So meaning to say, within these levels, like if you are an NC2 skilled level, meaning to say then that at least if you're a skilled level, you should be practicing. This occupational safety and health practices. What other training centers are doing is to coordinate with DOLE and for the implementation of this one. So DOLE goes there. That's why in my message, this must also be implemented in collaboration with the stakeholders, particularly with the Department of Labor and Employment, because they have, of course, the experts. So we invite them and to conduct the training. In addition, as part of the whole training for a Tibet course. So my presentation a while ago on these different occupational health safety learning outcomes are actually integrated. How to conduct it? Of course, this is in partnership with the stakeholders.
Okay, so thank you, Edie. Edie, you since you mentioned the NC levels kanina, may nakita ako na 5 levels yan, di ba? NC level 1 to level 5. Alin doon yung may pinakamarami tayo na graduates? At alin yung wala pa? Or may medyo hirap?
Yeah, that is in terms of our Tibet programs. You mean to say the different levels of the Tibet programs?
Yung kanina yung sa OSH, related to OSH, yung level 1 yung follow OSH policies, tapos yung second level ay practice,
yes.
Tapos di ba lead, tapos manage. Alin doon yung may pinakamarami na may graduates ba? At
Okay.
iba na wala pa?
Okay. So it's like this, ma'am. We do not conduct those learning outcomes of which are part of the BOSH program separately, because these are integrated in the Tibet program. Okay, these are integrated so that when a learner performs in the laboratory or in the training area, then as these BOSH practices must be observed while they are doing their actual training program. So, hindi po namin tinitingnan na graduate siya ng BOSH level 3. Wala pong ganun. Baka pagagalitan ako ni Sir German, ha? Sasabihin niya, bakit meron kayong ganun? Okay, what we mean there is itong mga ito ay naka-integrate doon sa aming mga training program. So, ang binibilang natin dito is ilang graduates ng Tibet NC2, NC3, NC4, NC5. So, ito yung courses.
Okay.
Na-integrate lang ang mga yon po.
Okay, so thank you for the clarification.
Thank you for that question para na-clarify po tayo.
Sige po. So, Sir Herma, kayo naman po, kanina na-mention ko doon sa presentation ni Ms. Dang, no, Snyder, meron tayong 88 na STOs. May plans po ba talaga ang OSHC na expand pa yon, na padamihin pa yung accredited safety training organizations natin, given na napakarami na po talaga nating dapat i-cater, no?
Yes, ma'am. Ang trust po talaga ng OSHC is to encourage more organizations to apply for accreditation as STO. Kasi ideally, the OSHC should be more on monitoring the quality of trainings being conducted by the STOs and not to compete with them in the conduct of training. However, given the situation, we have to, as Secretary Silvestre H. Bello stated earlier, he instructed the OSHC to exponentially increase the number of free training batches to serve prospective participants who do not have the financial capability to spend for registration fees, training registration fees. But for next year, as reflected in our work and financial plan for 2022, the number of trainings will be the number of mandatory occupational safety and health trainings such as BOSS for SO2, BOSS for SO1, and construction occupational safety and health training will be greatly reduced. We will just focus on the informal sector and the micro and small but financially challenged establishments. Thank you very much po.
So, malaking bagay po actually yung free free trainings nyo ngayong pandemic, and a lot of yung mga of companies are really appreciated. So, para magiging focus po next year ay informal sector, micro and small and financially challenged. So, the bigger ones, yung mga medium-sized and tsaka large establishments ay ipapaubayan nyo na sa mga STOs. No?
Yes, ma'am. Yung po kasi yung idea, that should be, yung po kasi ang ideal, dapat yung mga financially capable establishments, they should avail of the services of accredited STOs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, ED David, ito po meron pong question from another attendee, no? Sabing ganon, during this pandemic, can TESDA adjust or change their strict program that once a certification is expired even for 1 day, can no longer be renewed unless you go back to zero and do the training again?
I'm a little bit confused, no? Can you read again the question?
Okay, sige po. In this time of COVID-19 pandemic, can TESDA adjust or change their strict program that once a certification is expired, even for 1 day, the participant can no longer be renewed unless you go back to zero and do the training again?
Ma'am, I think that is not the policy. Okay. For renewal, the first policy is actually one can renew or start applying for the renewal actually a month before. You did not wait on the last day. However, even if the certificate even if the applicant applied after the expiration of their certificate, the policy is not to go back and attend again the assessment because kaya expired nga eh. So the only time that we require that one has to undergo the assessment again is if the training regulation that covers the certification has been amended or enhanced or it has been migrated. So, ibig sabihin may mga changes doon sa competencies. It has been approved by the TESDA board. Mahirap na proseso yon. That's the only time that they are required. The other one is, meaning to say, nag-iba yung content ng, at the time that you are now renewing, nag-iba yung content ng certification ninyo, iba na yung mga competencies, either may nadagdag or may nabawas, then you are required to undergo again for reason that you have to prove that you are competent in those new competencies added or changed competencies. So yun yung isang situation. But as far as na-late lang siya ng 1 day or a week or a month, I don't think so that they are required to undergo the assessment. Yun po, ma'am.
Thank you for clarifying po. I'm sure narinig po yung ating participant. Ano? I learned that Ms. Snyder is here pero may problema siya sa connection, no? Talagang yan ang number 1 problem natin. While talking about the digital world, talagang connectivity natin. So she will answer questions related to her presentation daw po sa chat box. Okay? So sige po. Ayan, marami pa po. Okay lang po ba? May time po kayo, ED, David and Sir Herman. Maraming pa mapasok na mga questions.
No problem, ma'am.
Sige po, okay. So, Sir Herman, ito pa para sa inyo. Sabi gano'n ni Julian Corpus. Thank you for coming up with these strategies to ensure provision of continuous training despite the threat of the current pandemic crisis. One of the requirements under IRRs of RA 9514 and RA 11058 is the conduct of regular fire drill. At this time, how can organizations comply with this requirement while complying as well with the minimum health protocols mandated by the IATF? Is it possible that OSHC and BFP can collaborate on the conduct of a possible digital fire drill for establishments? How can you assist us in this concern? So digital fire drills now, sir, is that possible? Sir, naka-mute po kayo. Yan, okay.
Okay. Ma'am, I think we have to check that with the Bureau of Fire and Bureau of Fire Protection if they allow virtual fire drill. But for the other drills, such as the disaster preparedness, the earthquake drills, the NDRRMC already made some adjustments. We are no longer required to go out of the building because of the minimum safety and health protocols. We are no longer required to go out of the building and assemble at the meeting area to avoid or to ensure that the safety and health protocols are maintained. Thank you very much po.
Thank you. ED, ito po isa pong tanong from Harold Relatado. During this pandemic, does TESDA continue to conduct assessment and certifications for heavy equipment operators?
Yes, ma'am. As long as the LGU in the place where the assessment center is allows it. Kasi as far as the AATF is concerned, it has allowed with at least with the capacity of 50%. Ibig sabihin, pag heavy equipment, wala naman tayong talagang problema kasi maluwang-luwang yung ground kung saan sila mag-undergo ng assessment. Kaya lang, we have to conform also with the LGU protocols. So if the LGU allows, then there's no problem. And I think most already of our LGUs are allowing it.
So, thank you po. Thank you. So for as long as the LGU allows, no, ay meron. TESDA has not stopped its assessment and certification for heavy equipment operators.
Yes.
Okay. So kanina po doon sa mga presentations, actually for the three speakers, I noticed na you give premium to mental health. Mental health, okay? Mental health in the workplace as part of OSH. Yan ang isa sa pinakamahalaga at pinaka parang talagang kailangan i-emphasize ngayon kung dati ay hindi siya masyadong na-emphasize, no? Pero pag nagko-conduct po ng mental health, as part of the curriculum, ano yung key message na binibigay nyo sa ating participants? Siguro po sige si ED, mukhang nag-iisip ka na.
Yeah, I am not actually the trainer, but I am aware. In our organization, we are actually conducting that. That is a mandatory requirement. We are doing that for all our employees, and also we are actually developing now a program that we would like to include in the TESDA online program, so that it can be accessed by the public. But as to yung content, yeah, I'm not knowledgeable as to the content.
Okay.
It's my staff actually doing it. It's my colleague. Yeah.
Okay lang po. Thank you po. So, Sir Herman?
Like Sir David po, I'm not really involved in the discussion of the module on mental health. But during the development of the module on mental health in the workplace, one of our identified objectives is to explain the provisions of the DOLE-DO on mental health in the workplace. So definitely our resource persons explain the provisions and how to comply with the provisions of the DOLE-DO on mental health. Thank you very much po.
So, thank you. Thank you, Sir Herman. Idi David, ito po, okay, anonymous attendee. Where and how can we have our STO accredited by TESDA regarding EMS? Ay, nakamute po kayo, sir.
The accreditation process starts at the regional offices. They go at the provincial offices. They go to the provincial office. They will be provided by the list of requirements to comply. Then once they have complied, they will to request for inspection of their facilities and also of the curricular requirements.
So, thank you po, sir. Okay. For Sir Herman, actually medyo nasagot mo na to kanina, Sir Herman, kasi tanong ni Ruel Felipe Ruiz, no? Considering the striking impact of the enumerated challenges and disadvantages to a successful delivery of a training program, would OSHC consider passing the execution of e-class or online training to highly qualified and accredited training organizations so that it can focus on its mandate to regulate and audit TOs rather than competing with them, as well as putting more efforts and investment to improve training contents, methods, certifications, oversight, and arrangements to maintain a holistic and exclusive protection. So basically, may dadagdag po ba kay Sir Herman? Pero kanina na-mention na niya that we will be focusing on micro, small, and financially challenged organizations and the informal sector.
Yes, ma'am. Siguro po, I would like to assure Engineer Ruiz that we are geared towards that direction for next year. By the way, Engineer Ruiz is a good friend of ours. He used to work with the Bureau of Working Conditions.
So, okay, thank you very much. So siguro po kasi parang 45 minutes, I took 45 minutes of your time already. Napakatagal at napaka-interesting ng ating open forum, no? Siguro po one final, as we close this session, may I request for a final message from both of you. Kung may gusto po ba kayo idagdag relative dun sa ating trust, sabi nyo kanina kasi there's no turning back, definitely. Pag tutuloy-tuloy na yung ating yung use of online platforms for training, and we are focusing on certain sectors, no, so that we address yung digital divide, no. So any more messages that you'd like to say to the participants? Sir Herman, pwede po kayo mauna?
Okay, thank you very much po. To our stakeholders, rest assured that we will continue delivering not only training, not only information dissemination, but we are ready with our technical services that we offer to our stakeholders. Please follow us on FB, Twitter, and frequently visit our website for the announcement on our forthcoming trainings, mini webinars, and other related activities. Thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Sir Herman. ED David.
Yeah, thank you also. Well, occupational safety and health is a very vital and critical component also of Tibet, because it deals with the development of workers in the labor market, particularly workers that are involved with the handling of equipment, okay, and other skills related occupations. So TESDA will always remain a partner of the stakeholders in promoting and advocating the necessity of occupational safety and health. And TESDA will always be a partner in the development of a quality blue-collar manpower. And let me just end by saying that I could just share what Alvin Toffler said, that the illiterate of the 21st century are those who cannot read or write, but it is those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So as stakeholders, we must be one in leading our community to change the mindset of, instead going back to the conventional, let's face the music, let's face the challenges of a digital economy. Thank you very much.
Very well said, ED David. No? So thank you very much to our speakers, Executive Director David Bugallon and Mr. Herman from OSHC. And that ends our session. I hope na kayo po lahat ay safe and healthy. Okay, so God bless po. Thank you.
Once again, we would like to thank our resource persons, moderator, and participants